Hello, Book Club, hosted by Heather Skinner. Today we have our April 2022 feature author with us. This month we will be reading her book, Canvased Hearts. This is going to be part 1 of 2 of our interviews. So part 2 will be up for viewing on Monday, April 11th. We have with us today Leigh Morhaime. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you here. I'm so excited to read your Canvased Hearts book. If you have that handy, actually, do you want to hold that book up so we can see the cover of your featured book, Canvased Hearts?
Right over my face.
Oh, no. That's true. That's probably where the camera's focusing. There we go. Yep. And then this is what it used to look like, right? It just kind of got a makeover.
Yeah, I got an updated title, updated cover, and formatting on the inside. Just something basically that felt like it fit the actual theme of the story better. Something that would hopefully catch a little bit more attention.
Yeah, they both kind of give the story such a different life. And I think that's where Gemma's question, because Gemma always gets to ask the first question. And it stemmed from her seeing both of the covers, the previous and this new one. She loves painting. And what did you want to ask?
And I like the color pink.
And you like the color pink?
So does the artist like the color pink in her paintings?
Yes, if she likes to use the color pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've imagined the paintings to look like, it's a very broad kind of theme. She does a lot of different things, and she uses different colors. Some of them are going to be a little bit darker, with a lot of like blacks and line work, and some of them are going to be more colorful. There is one that is more of a landscape with some flowers and everything. So I think that one probably has some pink flowers in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Which is kind of perfect because when we recorded your video to like reveal that you were the April winner, that your quote got voted in, that day we had some blank canvases behind us, and we just happened to because we were following something online where we were learning to paint something. Gemma, do you want to show what we ended up painting that day?
So
that's kind of cool. Yeah, Gemma painted.
That's amazing.
Of flowers.
Yeah, the pink flowers. So that's kind of cool that you mentioned there might be some pink flowers maybe with the main character.
Yeah.
Matched up really well.
And I didn't even see that back there.
I think it's better than mine.
I love yours a lot. So something else that we had been talking about, we love your pictures online. We've seen your hair, I think, pink.
Yeah.
Speaking of pink, purple, like all these great colors. And Gemma was looking at your hair and she's like, so pretty.
Yeah, because it's my favorite color.
Yes. How many colors have your hair been? And like, what's your favorite color you've ever had your hair? We just think that's so cool.
It's kind of funny right now that it's at the tail end, I'm about to dye it again because it's all faded out. I don't know what my favorite one has been. I don't really have one. I like to change my hair up a lot. And I'd say it's probably been pretty much every single color except, well, I'd say even yellow by accident. It's been orange. There's been some green when blue faded. It's been every color, I think.
Yeah, and Mommy's favorite color is yellow. That's a coincidence.
It's a coincidence.
You had your hair pink.
It's so fun because I've always wanted to like dye my hair all kinds of colors like that. I'm actually writing my very first novel right now. I'm in like a third draft. And my main character, I gave her colorful hair because I want my hair to look like that.
Yeah,
I gave her tattoos I would like. And I thought it was cool that you do that. Like your hair is so fun.
Sometimes I just get little clips and attach it to my hair that are dyed different colors and braided.
Yes, yeah, you've had a pink strip in it. Like Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They'll
that's amazing. Yeah.
Those were awesome answers to your questions. Oh, you did find a pink one. Oh,
nice.
I really like it. So I have a pink one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought it would be fun. I have this big list of random questions, just fun random things, might be about your writing, might be something you like to do, and then just whatever comes to mind with it to answer. So what do you think? Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Okay, first one. What's the funniest typo or craziest Google search your writing has brought about for you?
I think craziest Google searches are usually like questions I should already know the answer to, but my mind has completely forgotten. And it's definitely like sometimes I use my husband as Google. It's really kind of funny. So I'm like, hey, what's that word that means something like this? And he'll start to say words. I'm like, no, it's like this. And he'll keep going. And I'm like, no, it's not that. Funniest typo. Oh, I know I have one, but I can't remember it right now. But it definitely. Oh, last night for some reason I was trying to type fingers, and instead of putting an F, I put a G, and so my mind thought it was absolutely hilarious that I wrote gingers.
That is
Obviously,
something
yeah.
else too. That's an actual word.
Yeah. Obviously, I needed sleep because it was sad how funny it was, but things like that happen a lot.
I find that fun. I love it.
Yeah.
What's a mundane task you do that you get your most writing ideas while doing?
Taking a shower.
Something about the quiet in there, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
your mind can wander.
What is driving to work?
Oh, and driving. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like that, you don't have to talk to anyone. You've got like just the thought going. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It probably makes it hard to write the stuff down you're thinking though, right? Do you have to like pull over and like, oh, whoops.
I learned to talk to text on with some of those things, which is a little awkward, but I'm getting more used to it.
Oh, you know what? I like that. That's one good thing about technology. Like when it can make things safer, you don't have to like forget. You can just talk and get it done. Oh, I like that. What's your favorite book of all time?
Oh, that is a question I will never be able to answer. I'm very
True book
indecisive.
lover.
I have over 1,000 books in my apartment. It's kind of crazy, but some of my top favorites are more so for the authors than just the book itself. I do have to say, Colleen Hoover is probably one of my biggest inspirations and favorite authors. But I do have some indie authors that I've actually become friends with as well, and they have some amazing books too. So I'm gonna think of some better ones that I really can't that I really absolutely love.
That's okay. I love that. I love that it's hard to pick. Like that you love to
Mm-hmm.
read, you love to write. It's perfect. Are you
Mm-hmm.
currently binge watching any show?
We, for some weird reason, got back into 13 Reasons Why in the last 2 weeks. We just had kind of stopped watching it and then decided to go back into it. We watch all sorts of things. We've been in a habit of watching some of the like docu-series that are based on real life events but dramatized for effect. Dropout is one of those that we're doing right now. It's really weird because her voice is almost enough to give me nightmares because I know it's not real. But yeah, that's probably the biggest two that we're binging right now.
Love it. Gemma likes to know, what is your favorite food?
Wings.
Nice.
Chicken wings.
Yes, me too. Those are yummy. Like barbecue, maybe. Barbecue's my favorite.
Buffalo, or like a hot buffalo, or salt and vinegar wings.
Oh, nice.
Delicious.
Yum. Who is your hero?
I have different ones for different things. Over the years, my mom has become a lot more because I've seen how much she's gone through and how she never let it take her down. Again, I think Colleen Hoover is one for the book world and also for how she is just as a human being. She's absolutely spectacular. But one that will never believe me that he is, and hopefully he stays safe for this, but it's my husband because he doesn't realize how strong he is. He doesn't realize how amazing he is and how much he helps me. And it's just, he's so selfless, even though he doesn't even think he is.
Those are the sweet
Definitely.
answers. and I love that so much. It's hard to move on to the next one now because that was just like so sweet and powerful. The next one I have is what is a concept you haven't written about but would like to?
I've got so many. I kind of want to do maybe like a mystery thriller type story soon. Just more so for fun than anything else. I
think I just heard your cat trying to help you out with
yes,
it. Write a cat book about me.
Oh yeah. I know there's some others that I'd like to write about. Because I do kind of balance a lot between women's fiction and contemporary romance. So the romantic themes are sometimes a lot more subtle in mine. So there's ideas that I have that go a little deeper into that world. Like I really want to write a really kind of heavy themed enemies to lovers one, because the one I have right now is not super heavy, but I want one that's got so much angst because I just like it. Just I don't know, I like that better than happy stories.
You gotta have some conflict, right? And that anxiety,
Oh, yeah.
turning the pages to find out what happens next and someone to root for. So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have a superpower, what would you want it to be?
Oh man. Oh, I would want it to be. I honestly, I feel like I would. So we're big Marvel fans. We also love DC too. And we've talked about it so many times about what we would want to be able to do, and I keep coming back to the fact that I kind of would want to be like either Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch, because it's not just one thing they can do. You know, with the magic of Scarlet Witch and everything, she can basically do a lot of things that you know, a lot more things than just fly or anything like that.
I like that answer. That makes me really think though too, like you're picking such a bold choice because not only do you have more you could do with those powers, you'd have more like consequences if something goes wrong with them too. So that's an
Yeah.
balance of choice. I like that. After
Mhm.
writing, what is your next favorite art form to create with?
I do actually love to paint. I'm not a great painter, but I do love to paint. But I am a photographer first. Well, I've actually been writing for longer than photography, but I remember picking up my first camera when I was a little kid. It was one of those little Barbie cameras with the film. I think it was the 115 film. And so photography was always my first professional big art love. And then painting, writing, a little bit of drawing, um, basically a lot of different art forms. But those are
Those
the
are
top
great
three.
skills to kind of mesh with your writing skill too, actually. Like, does that help you with a lot of the cover designs that you think
It
up?
does. Yeah, it does, because I did go to school for photography in fine arts. So knowing composition, knowing how to balance, knowing how a lot of it works and what works well together and everything, I think does really help me with covers. I do design all of my own, and I am working on trying to launch a design business. So not too my own horn, but I think I do okay enough with it because of my background.
Yeah, your covers are all gorgeous. I love all the pictures, and that's amazing that you work on them too. And what you produced, like the writing, the covers, everything, they're gorgeous. And that's really fun too that you went to school for photography. I went to the Hallmark Institute of Photography out of high school. They ended up shutting down a few years after I graduated, but so that's cool. I love photography too.
Awesome. Yeah.
Would you say you have any unique writing quirks?
I've been told I'm really good at like the uh, kind of satirical humor or witty humor and things, not like straight out jokes or anything like that, but the yeah, that kind of subtle wit, I guess.
Love it. How many hours a day do you typically spend writing?
Not as many as I would like. I work full time, so usually when I get home from work, we have a few hours that we're not at our desks, and then anywhere between, like on weekdays, anywhere between 3 to 5 hours, and then weekends, sometimes the entire weekend is all about that.
That's great. That was something I was going to ask you about later too, because so you work in property management, right? Is your career
Yeah.
that you're doing? Does that help you with your writing at all? With like, getting ideas, working with other properties, like maybe if you need an environment for something you're writing, like do you some of those houses like, oh, that would be a great detail.
It has helped a bit. This career is only about 3.5 years that I've been in it. So before that, I was in culinary management and the culinary industry, and that definitely inspired a lot and still does. But yeah, basically a lot of just service industry, customer service stuff definitely plays a big part in a lot of my work.
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of people and different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you envision first when you get an idea for a book? Plot, characters, the end, or something else?
Oh, it changes every time. Sometimes it's like there's one story I started simply because I saw a house that just the moment I saw the house, it was like this whole, like the whole story kind of like played out in my mind for a moment. Sometimes it's just, I think of like this relationship that I want to portray. And so I start kind of with the characters with that. Sometimes it's the theme, like my Valentine's story is because, I started kind of doing a holiday theme and I hadn't gone into it planning on doing that. But then I was like, Valentine's Day is coming up. I hate Valentine's Day. Maybe I should write a story about that. And so that's where that story came from. So honestly, it's all over the place as to what spurs it on.
That's awesome. I love it. Do you have any of your characters that you feel you relate most to?
The one that is coming out in May, um, in a way, I feel like I relate most to her. I'm not, that story is going to be very heavy. It's going to be some dark themes, some very strong mental health themes. And so, as a disclaimer, that's not me, but there are parts of her. There's a big inspiration from her because I started her story 10 years ago when I was in a completely different mindset, different place. I was in a relationship that I needed to get out of. I was just unhappy and everything. So that book was kind of like my therapy. And then I stopped writing it and I finally got back into it last year to finish it. And I should be finishing it today, actually. So I'd say mostly relate, like, she's probably the character I relate to most. Finley and Sloan. Sloan is from Valentine. Those two are also, their character itself is probably a little similar to me.
Yeah, Finley's great. I'm a little over 100 pages in, and I'm loving this book, Canvas Hearts. It's so great.
It's a very wonderful.
If you could meet one of your characters in real life, who would it be, and what would you say to them?
Oh man. It would probably be Maven. Um, and I think that one would be, just be a lot of heavy talking, a lot of just kind of, I'm so connected to her, especially right now.
That's
So
intriguing. Which of your books is that character in?
she's in the one that's coming out in May, Love Unfiltered. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Oh, I'm extra excited for it now. Now I want to know more about that character you would talk to.
Mm-hmm.
When you write, do you like to have music playing or background noises or complete silence?
So a lot of times I either have to have silence or especially last night, not supposed to wear my headphones a whole lot because my ears, but my favorite, best way is to find some good, like, instrumental music, like a very good piano or something like that, basically as loud as I can get it, right in my ears. And that really helps me. Last night I was listening to the same piece on repeat, about a 10-hour long version of it.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's good.
Oh, that's cool. Do you enjoy reading the same genres of books that you write in?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, pretty much. I read a little bit more outside the realm of what I write, but I do also read within this realm too.
And is there a book that you're reading right now?
Kind of. So I'm in a major reading slump, but I am in the middle of about 3 books. One is Colleen Hoover's newest book, Reminders of Him. So that's it. And then I'm also reading In the Gray by A.D. McCammon. I might probably share links because these are indie authors. And then I'm also doing an ARC reading of Shannon O'Connor's book that's coming out this month under Unexpected Departures.
I
I'm a
recognize
lucky
that
one.
author name because I also follow your Instagram account, and I
Yes.
you announced the other day you're co-writing a book with Shannon O'Connor, right?
Yes, we are. We're very excited about it. So we're doing that. We are actually got a few projects in the working.
Nice.
Very
Is this
good.
going to be your first co-writing experience?
It is. Well, kind of. It's going to be my first full co-writing experience. My best friend and I have started at least 3 different co-writes, but we just haven't finished any of them yet. Because, well, that's our lives. But this will be the first one for us to do fully.
Yes, that's so cool. Is there anything like you're super excited about with the full co-writing experience that you can't have in like a solitary like writing experience?
So we're both a little different in how we in our actual writing process, as far as she's more of a plotter and I am basically a pantser without the pants. Sometimes I'm so chaotic, but she's helping. Working with her has really helped me to be able to do a very loose plot line. And then it's also, we're writing this story's an FF fiction. So it is about the 2 main characters are both female. And so this is a little bit different from any of my main characters I've written. I've had LGBTQ couples in my books as secondary, but this is going to be the first one that's primarily that. And so I'm actually really excited because I get to just showcase more. I get to bring light to a trope, a theme that is just not represented well enough. And yeah, people just don't quite understand. We're hoping to change kind of the perception, I guess, a little bit on what people think FF is.
That's interesting. I
It's not
feel
that
like
makes sense.
that might be a theme throughout a lot of your writing, like kind of representing things that aren't normally. So I find that really cool. So that's
Yeah.
or I can't wait to keep an eye out for of your next upcoming work.
Mhm,
That's so cool.
mhm.
Let's see. What's something that's a must-have for you in your writing space?
Something to drink, either coffee, tea, water, and darkness.
I like that.
Mhm.
Do you have any side characters that you want to write a spin-off about one day?
Quite a few. Some already planned.
Oh, that's exciting.
Mhm.
Any from Canvas Hearts?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I will also be watching for that.
Mhm. It's one that may not be very obvious because it's not like a straight secondary character, but it's one I've already started.
Ooh, okay, I'm super intrigued now. While I'm reading, I'm going to be in the back of my mind like, ooh, I wonder who it is. That's kind of fun. I like it. I feel like I get to be a detective now. Like, who would she write about? I'll be watching. I'm going to try and guess. All right, let's see. Oh, what's something you do to get inside of your characters' heads when you're writing about them?
A lot of times I kind of like, in a way, almost like sometimes I actually dream about it, and then I kind of will play that scene out in my head, and just kind of almost become them. And so that way it's like my whole awareness is about their awareness. I try to bring them to life actually as myself.
I think that really shows through in your writing too, because I mean, just from reading Canvas Hearts, the point I've read to so far, they all feel so realistic. Like I feel like I could see this playing out in real life with people. Like it's amazing the way you write. What does literary success mean to you?
There's so many different levels to it, I think. I think anything can be. One of the things my husband and I say to each other is small victories is, remembering every little thing that we accomplish. We can have big goals of, yeah, eventually the goal is that I could do this full time. But it's also remembering every little step and celebrating each step so we don't get discouraged when maybe we don't get something as quick as we want it.
Yeah, it's definitely a slow moving industry too. So it's good that
Oh, yeah.
that time to celebrate. What do you do when you celebrate each step or finishing writing a book?
Not much of anything. It's kind of sad. I get really excited and we talk about it and everything, and then usually I dive right into the next thing.
That's good you acknowledge it though, like even if you don't have
Yeah.
any kind of huge celebration thing that you do. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What is your writing kryptonite?
The fluff scenes, as I call them, the parts of it that just, like they're not big on, they're not the big plot points or anything like that. I hate, I get bored. I have ADHD, so that is kind of a kryptonite too, because I get distracted easily. It's why I think I'm good with writing novellas more, is because I don't have to write as much there. But yeah, so the ADHD with having to do those fluff scenes that like need the background and transition, but I just don't want to write.
I've been hearing a lot of stuff about ADHD too, and how it can kind of, the other side of it can be kind of a superpower for you too. Like, do you feel like it helps you in some scenarios with your writing or in general?
Honestly, now that I'm on medicine, that it's an official diagnosis, yes. I didn't get, it's been less than a year since I got my official diagnosis. And so I went years where it was not a good thing because it messed mentally with me and everything like that, because I couldn't focus on something. And so, I beat myself up about that. But since studying up more on, especially ADHD in women, because it presents totally differently, but also being on the medicine, it has helped me first to be nicer to myself, to understand, that this is who I am, and find, like, it helps me to find ways with that. But then it also, when I can hyper focus, I can like drill in, and if I'm really into something, I can spend hours working on it, and it's amazing.
That's really cool. I love that a lot. How do you overcome writer's block?
That's a good question. One of the biggest pieces, the most important pieces I learned, and I still am not good at this sometimes, is don't force it. If it's, even though, like there's times I have a deadline, and like this past week, for example, I was like, I've got to finish this, I've got to finish this. And about Thursday, I was like, obviously, that's too much pressure. I'm giving myself writer's block because I'm trying to push through it. And so it's like, okay, take some time off. And that's really the biggest thing, is because writer's block, a lot of times, is your mind telling you, I need a break. Like, don't make me do this. And so I'd say that's probably the biggest piece that I think is important. Just give yourself space.
I like that you do it that way. That's really good advice. Do you participate in any social media writing challenge?
Nanowrimo, I do that. Right now it's actually Camp Nano. So it's April and June are Camp Nano, and then November is actually Nanowrimo. I don't usually do like, I'm writing an entire book this month because, and I'm sporadic, I'm all over the place, but I do participate in those. There's a Discord, two Discord channels that I'm in, that one is specifically that we do writing sprints with, some groups on Facebook, some group messages too, where we do that. And then there's also like April is National Poetry Month. So there's a specific set of prompts that Cat Savage and J.R. Rogue do. And so those are ones I do every day. And so we kind of, that becomes a collective thing.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love that. What's the best writing advice or writing epiphany you've gotten that changed your writing process or your outlook on writing to make it better?
Just do it. Stop thinking about how it should sound. Stop thinking about, what your end goal is, because it's going to change. You're going to get better as you write, but also you can think you have the entire plot figured out, and the next thing you know, you've got 3 wrenches. And so it's just, I think it's underrated advice that everybody knows, don't edit while you write, but a lot of people kind of forget to put that into place, I think, because we're so critical of ourselves. But just do it.
I love that. That's the best. Because I think that is hard for people, like even if they know it, like you said, like to actually put that into practice and not kind of backtrack on ourselves. So I love that. I hope a lot of aspiring writers take that to heart there. That was great. And then what was the next one? Oh, with following your Instagram, I saw you had a post once with this really cool, like you had your friend Central Perk cup and you're drinking coffee and you're writing. So I wanted to know, what is coffee like your only fuel that you use to energize your writing? What's your writing setup like that usually?
So definitely coffee. The punnier the mugs, the better. I have my whole coffee rack and my coffee machine right beside me. So it's usually coffee earlier in the day, and then later in the evening, if I want something hot to drink, I have tea, and usually like Earl Grey or Lady Earl Grey or Irish breakfast. And my go-to is always Twinings. Because caffeine does not keep me up. It doesn't even wake me up. So I always have, and coffee, because I'm home, I make it through my Keurig, but I love to treat myself to a nice coffee from like a local small business. It's so good.
Aww,
always have to have those.
Really cool. And then pick a random item near you and tell us how it could fit into your story canvas parts. Like if you were to just pick up maybe a coffee mug or something, like how could you envision it in a scene or interacting with one of your characters?
I mean, there are scenes definitely where they've had coffee. They're going to drink some coffee. Everything around me is just chaos, and I think that just in itself probably fits in.
He's an artist. That's true. And you're an artist too, so that makes sense. I love it. If you want to use that as your answer, that's a good answer. I love the chaos of just having our brain, surroundings and in the brain. I love it. So I wanted to jump back too. So when members vote in our monthly features, they just see the quote now and they don't know the book behind it. So your quote was, she's been telling herself this whole time that she wasn't ready to love him yet, but what if she did already? Which I love, like that you got voted in with this quote. This is so great. What was important to you about this quote that made you feel like it represented your book like perfectly?
Because she thinks she's broken. She's been through a lot that she tries to hide, and it's been to her detriment a lot. And she was trying to maybe not want to be involved, wanting to, not feel like she was good enough for that. But it was also a lot of the times where the things that she thought just weren't actually true. When she'd think to herself that she was too broken or anything like that. And I think that quote really kind of embodies how, especially for her, but in a lot of times, our outlook on ourselves just isn't reality. And a lot of times we just kind of realize after the fact what's the truth.
I love that. That's really powerful. I'm going to be continuing to share in the description below of all your videos this month, and on our corresponding book club Facebook page. You have this really great master Linktree link where when people click on it, it takes you to all of your links where they can find you, your work. And also, I think a lot of people in my book club will love that you have an ARC sign up too, which is I wanted to mention. And I see that this week specifically too, you're looking for a beta reader, like a few beta readers too. Is that still someone you're looking for people for that?
Yeah, I am. It's kind of like I just have the first part for Love Unfiltered to send out right now. And so it's not like a huge pressure thing. I'm not looking for like severe feedback or anything. It's more so, in a way, beta feedback of just general of the story itself, and also sensory reading. Because like I said, it's very heavy on mental health and everything like that. And so, with as nervous as I am, I just want to make sure people don't hate it and everything like that. So yeah, I am looking for some people who maybe just have some time this week to at least read a little bit of it. It doesn't have to be a whole lot or anything like that. It doesn't have no reviews necessary or anything like that. Not until I actually send out ARC copies, the advanced reader copies. So right now it's just very casual, but just something to make me feel like I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's important. I like that you're taking people into consideration and doing that like sensitivity beta reading. It's really important, I think, in that part of the process. So that's great. If other like beta read opportunities come up in the future, do you also send that to your ARC team? People have signed up for that, or is that something we watch on social media for with you?
That's more social media first. I have my ARC reader list, but I don't just blindly send anything out with that. I communicate first, usually through social media. I have an ARC reader group specifically for people who have signed up already. And so I'll usually post there first. And then sometimes I'll make more public posts in my reader group, my main reader group. I'll make posts there later on.
Okay, so that's good to know. So everybody who starts following you, just follow all of the links.
Yes,
with all these fun, exciting updates. I love it. And then also, while we're talking about that, I think you're going to be offering an exciting giveaway to our book club this month. Did you want to go into details about that?
Yeah, so I am going to kind of keep it pretty open as to what exactly the prize would be. Because we're reading Canvas cards, if somebody, whoever wins wants that one, I can do that one. Or basically, I'm going to keep it open to a paperback of any of mine. One person can win their choice of one. And I think, the main entry of it would just be, like saying you want to enter, but let's say extra entries for however many places you follow me on. And so if you're following me on,
I like
you get more chances.
I like it. Yeah. So maybe we should set it each place you follow. I've seen kind of like on an author takeover event. So they'll kind of do a screenshot of, oh, I followed you here. Oh, I followed you here. And so for every screenshot they share with us. Do you want to count that as an entry?
Yep. Yeah, and that counts for like every sort of like, because I have way too many Instagram pages and Facebook pages, so like all of those count. I've got my design side plus my author side, and I've got a handful of groups. Any sign up, like art signups, that can count. Any sort of following on like Amazon, Goodreads, Book Club, and adding to TBR lists, like especially on Goodreads, that'll count too. So
Oh, there are so many ways to enter. Oh, this is
there are.
yay! I love
Yeah.
this. When would you like
And
them to enter by? Is this an end of the month? We'll kind of give them the month to go through. Okay.
Yeah.
And that way, if maybe one day they'll enter something else and follow you slowly throughout the month.
Yeah, and I'll say I am not good at just limiting prizes.
Ooh, this got even more exciting. It was already exciting. And I think you needed to keep it to US only, right? Because I know like shipping right now has been
shipping, yes. If there is anybody that is international, I can do like an ebook gift card collect thing. If that's who wins.
Yeah, because I know we have members from all over, which is exciting. Like an author takeover this month is going to be from an author in India. So we were trying to work out our time differences. It's tonight when we're recording, but it's already going to have happened by the time this interview posts. But it's really exciting to see people from all over be able to chat about books in our book. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this awesome giveaway opportunity. So everybody remember to follow and then send us those screenshots. Let us know how many places you followed, and then those will all be an entry. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe while you're here, and to tune in next week, Monday, April 11th, for part 2 of this wonderful interview with Leigh Morhaime. Your member questions will be answered that you submitted in advance, and also more about our featured book of the month read by Leigh Morhaime, Canvassed Hearts. Happy reading!